Okay, high-intensity cardio workouts. The purpose of the high-intensity cardio workout is to take the heart rate as high as you can get it, so the heart gets stronger and it burns an incredible amount of calories during the workout and after. You'll burn, I know there's high-intensity cardio, there's low-intensity cardio. We got our fat-burning zone, which is the optimal zone to keep you burning a higher percentage of fat and carbohydrates during the workout. And that's great, but you'll burn more overall fat calories during a high-intensity cardio session and after that session than you'll burn in a low-intensity cardio session. Example, would you rather have 100% of the pond or 2% of the ocean or 5% of the ocean? Obviously, you'd rather have 5% of the ocean if the goal is to burn as many calories as possible. You burn an incredible amount more when it comes to caloric expenditure doing high-intensity cardio than you do when you do low. I encourage you to do both because you can maintain the low for longer periods of time, so you can build up your endurance. But the high-intensity cardio is going to give you a better fitness bang for your buck, so to speak, for the amount of time that you spend. Now, typically your high-intensity cardio workout is going to necessitate you going up and down in your intensity levels because you can't maintain a high-intensity level for long periods of time. Usually not longer than a minute can you stay at a high-intensity level. Now, high-intensity levels range anywhere from an 8 to a 10 level intensity. As an example, I talk to my clients to get an idea of where they're at. Typically, we want our clients working out somewhere between a 6 and a 10 level intensity. 6 is a warm-up. Excuse me, 6 is warm-up, like a walk in the park. Just getting their heart rate up, getting the muscles going, getting the blood flowing. A 7 is a cardio level where you'll probably start to sweat. But you can carry on a conversation easily because you're not out of breath, you're still aerobic. You cross over into anaerobic once you hit an 8 level intensity. You're just inside of anaerobic. You say a sentence and you need to take a breath before you complete that sentence. A 9 intensity is going as hard as you can possibly go. And a 10 intensity is going harder than you thought possible. So with the interval workout that I'm going to show you today is some different activities you can do to take your client up and bring them down, take them up and bring them down during the course of the workout. And I will typically give them anywhere from 1 to 2 minute break in between these activities so they can recover, so the heart rate can come back down so they can just take it back up again. And what happens when you do a high-intensity cardio workout like that is you burn fat and carbohydrates and overall calories at a very high rate, not just during the workout, but for another 3.5 hours after the workout is done. So it's a very efficient way to work out, and it can take as little as 20 minutes for a workout for someone who's pressed for time. Today the workout is going to show you different things where you can put together like a 40 to 30-minute workout for a client. All right, first thing I have them do is just start to warm up, and we just start off with just a regular march. And the march is just a knee coming up above the hips. And they can do it with their hands behind the head. I like them to pull their elbows behind their back so it gets a retraction in the shoulder blades because typically during the day they're rounded out. They can do it there. They can interlace the fingers and do it here, the elbows straight, or they can just have their hands down. I typically have them in here in a V formation behind the back. And they're doing this for a minute. And I want the knees to come up a little bit higher than the hips. Okay, after the minute is over, I want them to get some rotation. If you can see my feet, you know they're together. The feet are touching, heels and toes are straight forward. And they're just wrapping around the spine. Some clients and some people will feel a pop in their spine, which is good. Typically the vertebrae, if it's not painful, the vertebrae is aligning itself. We do the march for a minute. We do this rotation for 30 seconds. I want their legs and hips warmed up. So to get their legs and hips warmed up, I typically have them do an alternating forward lunge, but it's really a hip flexor stretch because the back knee stays straight as the heel comes up off of the ground. So you can see what I'm doing. My left foot, my heel stays in place. My heel comes off the ground, my knee stays straight, press back, alternate to the other foot. I want a big enough step where there's pretty much a 90-degree bend in my front knee and a straight leg in the back. The leg in the back is where I'm getting my warm-up stretch. Here in my hip. Just move back and forth. Okay, we're going to do that for a minute, alternating. I'm on the side, we're doing kind of like a lateral lunge. Stepping from left to right. Keeping the heels and toes straight forward. We're doing this one for a minute as well. Not turning the toe out. With the toe straight forward when they step out. This knee straightens as the other one bends. Back and forth. We'll do a minute there as well. Always like to get the lower leg muscles, the calf muscles warmed up. So I'll bring this up above so you guys can see. But just big circles. They can do this lying on their back or standing. Standing is better if you get them to balance on one leg. Draw circles as big as they can. Keep this part of the leg as stable as possible. They're going to rotate in the opposite direction. I have them do 20 seconds in each direction, and then point and flex. So this one lower leg exercise or warm up is a minute. 20 seconds in this direction, 20 seconds in reverse, 20 seconds point and flex. The goal is not to go fast. The goal is a full range of motion. So you get the circles as big as you can, and you point and flex as far as you can in each direction. So we're here, and then we're here. 20 seconds each for a minute. Okay. After that one, I'll have them take a little light jog. They're going to jog forward, back pedal back. Have them side shuffle out, side shuffle back. Knees are bent. They're a little bit low on that side shuffle, and then karaoke back and forth. Karaoke out, and karaoke back. I'll typically have them keep their arms up into a T formation. That's actually one of the exercises that we use to get the heart rate up. Have them sprint as fast as they can forward, back pedal as fast as they can, side shuffle as fast as they can out, side shuffle back, karaoke out, karaoke back. And just have them do that continuously for a minute. After they finish that karaoke, they go back to sprint, side shuffle, back pedal, sprint, back pedal, side shuffle, karaoke, karaoke. Then sprint again, back and forth. Those three different activities over and over again to get the heart rate up for a minute. Then we let them rest for a moment or for a minute to get the heart rate back down, then we do it again. Okay, here I'm just going to go through some different things that you can have them do. Each one of these activities are no longer than a minute, and the goal is to get the heart rate somewhere between an 8 and a 10 level intensity on a high intensity cardio day. Okay, so this next one is called a burpee. I typically don't do this in the beginning, because I like to use this when we get you up to a 9 or 10 intensity. But a burpee is nothing. There are 3 different ways to do a burpee. And a lot of these things that I'll show you will have 3 different levels if it's very, very difficult. So the first one is a basic level. The basic level burpee, let's turn this way. Basic level burpee is where a client just comes down, steps back, steps in, and steps up. They're going down basically to a plank position, stepping in and stepping up. That's basic. Intermediate version is they come down, they hop back, they hop in, and they step up. The advanced version is they'll come down, they hop out, they hop in, and they hop up off the floor. Okay, that's advanced. They're doing one of those 3 versions for a full minute as fast as they can go. That's a burpee. Another activity you can have them do for a minute to get the heart rate really high is a mountain climbing. Just driving the knees straight forward, keeping the butt down, keeping the body low. Then my knees are close to the floor. They're not up in the air like this. The butt is down, the body's flat. Almost like a tabletop on your back. Driving the knees straight forward. Another exercise I'll have them do is quick feet. This is an old football drill that we had back in high school. With quick feet, they're just pounding their feet as fast as they can go. I point in a particular direction. When I point in that direction, they need to turn and come right back. I'll point the other way, come back. I'll point up, they need to jump and come back. I'll point down, they do their burpee, whichever version they're fine with, and they come back. I did the intermediate burpee. Okay, they do that for a minute. I have them do these activities just continuously, one after the other. But I give them a break in between so they can recover, anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes to get the heart rate back down to the 6 level or 7 level intensity. What's another activity? Wall taps. Wall taps is where I have them stay on their toes, and just tapping as high as they can on the wall, again for a full minute. Allow them to recover. Anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes, keep their heart rate back down to 6 or 7 level, and I put them into the next activity. Another activity they can do, using the legs, using the feet. Hands are above the head. They have a step. Let me grab a box real quick. This is kind of a high step, but the step can be a regular step that's in their house. They're just switching their feet back and forth as fast as they can go for a minute. They have good coordination. You're going to have them here. Get a little bit of upper body demand and work to make some muscle calories be burned by the upper body. Another one they can do too After they finish that one, completely different activity, step up, step down, as fast as they can go. And I'll have them, if they're doing this continuously, they're leading with the right foot, and they're going for a minute, I'll have them switch halfway through to the left foot. So they're going right, left the whole time, I'll say switch, then they go left, right, as fast as they can go for a minute. And again, we allow them to recover. This next one I'm about to show you really gets the heart rate up, creates some burn in the legs. This is one I stole from one of my trainers. Her name is Laura. You guys gotta have to start here with the knee bent. You pop over the top and squat. And you can do this with anything. If the top knee is bent, the bottom leg is bent, the legs are working and they're going for a minute. I do this with a ball, a medicine ball, a Bosu, almost anything you can think of, they can put their foot on without falling down for a minute. Then allow them to recover, bring the heart rate back down, have them do something else. Another activity I have them do, it's called ice skaters. The ice skaters are hopping from left to right. Depending on their fitness level, this will get them to an 8 or 9 without a problem, maybe a 10. But they're low to the floor. They're hopping from left to right. The back knee is up, or the back foot is up off the ground, and the front leg is bent from side to side. I think that's pretty much it on most of the activities that I will take a client through when I'm trying to get them to a high-level intensity cardio workout. You can also use a cardio equipment. If I have a client who has their own equipment at home or they have access to a facility, we'll get on the bike and do intervals. And we'll use the resistance. And we'll warm up for 2 to 3 minutes. Then for a minute, I have them go as hard as they can. I increase the resistance enough to make the heart rate be challenging go up and make the legs feel like they're not flailing. If it's a leg exercise, which most cardio equipment is leg driven, I'll increase the intensity so that the legs don't feel like they're flailing out of control, but not enough to burn the legs out. The goal is not to push against as much resistance as possible, but to get the legs to move as quickly as possible to get the heart rate as high as they can get it. So I have them take it up for a minute, again bring it back down for a minute or 2 minutes, and then speed back up again, bring it down, speed back up. And we'll do that for about 30 to 40 minutes for a high-intensity cardio workout. You can use a treadmill. On the treadmill, you can use the incline as well as the speed. On the elliptical, you can do the same thing. On the bike, you can use the resistance. Take the resistance up and down. And you can see the RPMs, which is good. So once I've seen their fastest RPM, I know what level they can go to, and I'll start challenging them at different levels of RPM. So if I got them on a bike and I saw that they were doing 90 RPMs at the beginning, my goal is to try to have them hit that 90 as many times as they can. And as I see they're starting to fatigue, maybe I only have them hit 80 or 85. What's happening on the outside of the body is not what's important, what's happening on the inside. That 80, 85 will be just as intense and as hard for their body as the 90 was because they're already tired. So anyway, it's a high-intensity cardio workout. You take any of those activities and mix them into a high-intensity cardio program. Use it for anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. Get a really good stretch at the end. You're using your legs for a lot of these exercises, with these cardio exercises, because your leg muscles are the biggest muscles of the body, and they require more energy than typically any other muscle group. So you want to stretch out the quad or the front of the leg. Old school quad stretch is the knee in towards the body. Also the knee back, even with the other knee, not in front. If you contract the glute on this side, you're going to get more of a stretch here. Also, if you pull back a little bit further, you get more of a stretch there. Don't have the shoulder blades here. If you pull your shoulder blades back, you get a better stretch as well. A good hamstring stretch. A basic one if you're in a rush to do both at the same time, to keep the knee straight. Just lean over at the waist till you feel a pull here and hold. A runner stretch, we'll isolate one at a time. That's where the front knee is straight. Your back is still arched. You lean over till you feel a pull. You do one on each side there. And then you got your calf stretch. If you got a step, you can put your foot up on a step or a wall and stretch that way. Or you get your leg behind you. Just make sure the toe is straight forward and it's not turned out. And you just lean into it, bending the front knee as much as possible to get that stretch behind the leg on both sides. And there's also what's known as a soleus stretch. It's a muscle that's underneath the calf that a lot of people don't typically stretch. Bend the knee, and you'll feel that muscle pulling underneath the calf. You typically want to do about 30 seconds or maybe a little bit longer of each muscle group to stretch your lower leg muscles out or to stretch your leg muscles out in general. And that's your high intensity cardio workout.